We begin in Tribeca for the first Roomy Bowl of the year. That's right, Gildan versus Trown. Many experts thought this would be the week the process finally failed Sam Hinkie, especially given his weight disadvantage against a full-grown bison like Trown. Things were looking grim for Hinkie as he put up his lowest point total for the season, but he caught a lucky break as the bison in paradise collapsed at the last second from chugging too many hot Taco Bell hot sauce packets. As Hinkie moves to 3-0, can anyone doubt the process at this point? Gildan wins the Roomy Bowl 108-96. Next, we head over to the UN headquarters, where the Huawei Integrity tried to slip its environmental record past Save the Bees in the midst of the climate summit for a sneaky win on the road. Knowing it would be a tough game in enemy territory, Integrity took an early lead by limiting its yards in the air to a measly 10 points in an effort to reduce emissions. Rather than following suit, Save the Bees pulled a classic bait and switch on Sunday night by distracting everyone with a screeching autistic child while quietly racking up 34 whole points through the air for an easy win. Bees 111, Integrity 100. Woo, woo, woo. Woo, 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 woo. Alright, now we go to Creamland, where the experts thought a young, innocent jock would be able to turn his team around and surprise everyone with his first win of the season against the Dogs. Those hopes were short-lived as the match went from the casting couch to full-blown bukkake in the blink of an eye as the Dogs lathered on a record-breaking 170 points worth of cream. The big Trubisky's got cream so bad that there are rumors around the league stripping him of his official title as the titty kisser, but everyone knows deep down that Jock never really stood a chance. After all, what can any of us do against that much cream? Dogs keep rolling, 174-93. Moving on from the disturbing scene in Creamland, we head to wherever Jess is for a good old-fashioned snack-down between the Icky Sticky Sawikis and Los Ingobernables. Everyone liked the Luchador squad's chances until Shady, Rush, McCoy forgot to check jaunting with Jess on Insta and wound up in the wrong country, finishing with 20 points on the bench. Luckily for Felipe, Luchadors lived for those icky sticky dicks and butts and dicks sweaty down to the wire performance and managed to claim the heavyweight title in a close win of the week. Jess 103, Felipe 104. Finally, it's time for Rage House America's Game of the Week between Saquon Set Hut and Yang Chang Gang. Bowden's boys got off to a hot start behind a monster game from Mike Evans, but it was short-lived as tragedy struck, and Saquon Barkley goes down with a high ankle sprain, out for 4 to 6 weeks, probably 8. Meanwhile, for the Yang Chang Gang, it seemed like everybody scores as Yang's universal basic income check started rolling in to the tune of 150 smackers. Pour one out for Bowden this week, as Saquon Set Hut has to find a way to move on in life without Saquon. Yang's rising the polls, 150 to 120. This episode of the Rage House Fantasy Football Podcast is brought to you by Gardner Minshew's Mustache, offering mustache rides for only $4.69 for a limited time using promo code BOAT. Visit www.lemonparty.org for details.
All right, guys. Welcome back. Hope you guys enjoyed that roundup. Apologize that this is coming out so late. I don't know what was going on, but I was having some major audio problems, massive interference the last 2 times I've recorded this, so hopefully this time it works out better. I've switched locations, which should hopefully help, and made a couple other changes. But yeah, I'm also promised to cut this one down this week. Last week was way too long. It was out of control. So I'm not going to talk about everyone's team in extreme detail, just going to touch on a few things. First and most important news is it's trade season, folks. Got our first trades. Cream Dogs made moves. He went out and got aggressive, like they say to get aggressive. You got to get aggressive if you want to be a good manager. He got aggressive. He went out and nabbed Mahomes in exchange for Odell Beckham, and then also picked up Juju Smith-Schuster to replace Odell Beckham in exchange for his quarterback, Russell Wilson. Now, he traded with Jess Russell Wilson for Juju, and he traded with Felipe Mahomes. I gotta say, if I'm looking at it objectively, it wasn't a bad trade for anyone really. I think everybody won, but Cream Dogs won way more than everyone else. Cream Dogs is now very dominant. 170 points or 174 points or whatever it was last week. Absolute domination. It was disgusting. I don't know why my thing was like glitching and I had 170 points before. Whatever. Bad day for everyone else who is not Cream Dogs, besides Yang Changing, who also had a great day. Disaster for Saquon Set-Hut last week. Feel really bad for him going forward. It's tough to live without Saquon. Anyway, let's look at the matchups for this week and see how everyone's teams are doing. Unfortunately, as you can see here, this week I'm playing Cream Dogs. I expect to get creamed, and then I have to talk about myself getting creamed next week, which is not going to be fun. But we'll see. Maybe I can magically. But let's just take a look at this right here, right now, guys. I know Yahoo Fantasy has a lot of like BS, projected points, but just look at everybody's projected points for the week. Everybody's sitting between. Besides, I don't know why Trown's so poop. We can look at it in a sec. But everyone's sitting between, 105 and 120 points, right? Pretty much the same. And then here's Max with 131 projected points. We got to do something to slow down Max here. Might need to make some trades, people. I am interested currently in trading with Jess for one of her running backs. Jess, I'll be proposing something to you soon. Moving on to the matchups for this week in more detail. I think I'm definitely going to lose to Cream Dogs. Ugly match. I don't think it's going to go very well. Saquon Set-Hut is in trouble against Save the Bees. Save the Bees squeaked by last week, but I think his team is good enough that he should win this one. Let's see the matchup. It's not going to be one that he can just walk away with. I don't think Bowden's team is like done or anything, even though it was tough losing Saquon. As long as Bowden can get a win or two in here while Saquon is out, he might be able to come back. But it's going to be tough. Meanwhile, we'll see what. I'm not super excited about Save the Bees team, especially I don't know what he's doing with his running back position. He just has no running backs. I don't know how that happened. I guess he picked Kelsey early in the season, and that's why he doesn't have any running backs. But and he also chose James Conner like 4th overall, which, ouch. But yeah, he has no running backs, so I'm not super high on Save the Bees, to be honest. I think that he has a chance, but it's hard to pick Saquon right now since he doesn't have Saquon in his roster right now. So we'll see what happens there. Next, Yang Changing versus the Icky Sticky Swickies. Now, I gotta say, I thought Swicky could have won that game, but it actually wasn't that close. Felipe could have ran away with it, but he left a bunch of points on his bench. Swicky's team is in trouble right now. She's actually got decent running backs. She's got 1-2 running backs that I trust, and then she's got some people with boom or bust potential. I don't think Dion Lewis is going to be doing anything going forward. They've completely cut him out of the offense, so time to drop him. But Penny could do something as the season goes on, especially as Seattle relies more and more on its run game. And David Montgomery could get better as the season goes on. We'll see. I am interested in picking up David Montgomery. I don't have any Bears players on my team, so let's talk Jess. Moving on to Sam Hinkie versus Trubes. This game is going to be interesting. I think might be the game of the week this week, only because this is Jock's do or die week. If Jock goes 0-4, he's done. He's already done for the season. But if he goes 1-3, there's a chance he could go on a run here. But he doesn't. Like I keep saying, his team talent-wise isn't that bad. He's still clutching desperately to Rodgers. We'll see how that works out for him. But it's going to be an interesting matchup going forward. Last matchup is Felipe versus Troun. Troun's team is a mess right now. I like Felipe in this one. I think that Todd Gurley is going to get points against Tampa Bay. I think that Odell Beckham will rebound against Baltimore. And I think Prescott has to score a lot of points against New Orleans if they want any chance of winning that one. So it'll be a good game. I think that Felipe definitely has the edge in this one, though. I'm interested to see what your guys' thoughts on the league are. Please comment. I feel like I don't get any feedback. Do any of you guys watch this? Like, if you don't watch it, if you do watch it, leave a comment. But don't leave a comment that makes it obvious that you're like replying to me saying this. See what I'm saying? Like, just leave a comment about the league, and we'll see how many people like actually are paying attention. Because like if my viewership is like too low, I might cut this down even more, simplify it for myself. I do enjoy the production, but it is a bit of work. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts on your own team. I want to hear your thoughts on my format, what I can do to make it more interesting. I definitely plan on having some guests on in coming weeks to make it more interesting so we can talk about more. I'll be out in New York probably in a couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks or so we can maybe do a group fantasy football podcast sesh. That might be fun. But yeah, guys, look forward to hearing your thoughts. Talk to you next week. Condor out.